Well, hello again, everybody. Welcome to this special evening edition of Chat with Spencer on Facebook Live. My name is Spencer Bonney. I am the Executive Director of Achieve Brown County. If you have been following along with our chats over the past number of months, you know that we set these up as a way for all of you watching in Facebook land to better appreciate and understand the work of Achieve Brown County, especially through the insights, perspectives, eyes, ears, lived experiences of our partners in the community. Tonight, I'm really pleased to welcome an amazing person. Her name is Amber Edwards. She is known to a lot of people for a lot of different things, but to us at Achieve Brown County, she's known in two ways. First of all, as the trainer leader or leader trainer with Circles Green Bay, one of our many partners, but also as one of our Parents Advocating for Childcare Fellows, an experience that she just wrapped up last week. We can officially call her a graduate of that program. And that's how we got to know her the most over the past number of months. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with what that program is all about, we'll talk about that as we go along. And you'll also get to hear about all of the other great things that Amber is involved with in our community as well. So Amber Edwards, so nice to have you with me this evening. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to actually sit and talk to you for once. We're
No
always
kidding.
busy on an agenda.
No kidding. Isn't that the truth? I am as well. I've been looking forward to this all day, Amber. I think it's fair to say that this is the highlight of my day. So let's dive right in. Per usual with our other guests, I provided Amber with a list of questions that I was going to ask. And the one that we typically start with is tell us about you. Tell us about Amber Edwards. What's most important to you, what you're most passionate about. Take us wherever you want to take us in answering that question, Amber.
Okay. Obviously for most parents, the center of my universe is my daughter. I have a 5-year-old named Riot. She is a handful of karate spunk, and she's the center of the world, of course. Outside that, you know me, I'm never bored. I like to learn new things. So really it's all about me driving myself to the next big thing. So that's what's important to me: momentum, progress, things like that. But really at the end of the day, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy like everybody else.
That's awesome. Great perspective to share. Tell us more about your life's journey. How did you get to where you're at today?
Oh, that's such a long story, but
No doubt.
right? We all have a long story and they're all fascinating. So the long story short, I grew up in Indiana. There's not a lot of work where I'm from. You really you bounce around, you learn a lot of jobs for not a lot of money until, eventually you either settle in one or you move on. So that's what I did. I ended up over the years, I drove a semi, I groomed dogs. I've learned a lot of things. But really what it's done is teach me how to be fluid and how to be adaptable. So I came to Wisconsin because of the work situation, the job situation. This area had so many job choices
Mhm.
in an area that we really just didn't. So when I came up here, I really didn't have a plan. I also didn't have a child yet. So it was okay to not have a plan. So I really dove into just I was doing a lot of gaming, I was doing a lot of skating, I was trying to really rediscover myself after ending a 10-year relationship, and found myself in the ebb and flow of life. Riot came along, and then when things started to go sideways for us, instead of laying down and letting life kick me, I just got mad and got up swinging, and I haven't stopped swinging since then.
So I'm laughing, not at you, but with you, because that is so true about you, given everything that I've learned about you in the time that we've known each other and the experiences that we've shared with each other. I can't impress upon whoever's watching enough how true of a statement that is about you, Amber, given how passionate you are about so many things, and certainly the two things that we're going to talk about next. So, not everybody is familiar with this amazing organization called Circles Green Bay. Would love you to tell us about that, how you came to Circles first as a participant, but also how your time with Circles led you into the role that you currently have today as a staff member of the organization.
Sure. I love talking about circles. I love talking about circles because I believe so wholly in what it is and what it stands for. Circles Green Bay is a chapter of a larger organization, Circles USA.
Mhm.
Circle's goal is to, by bridging systemic barriers and providing a support web to the people involved, to be able to lift people out of poverty and give them the tools to stay out. Not just to stay out, but to really advance themselves in life, whatever that means to that individual. Those individuals are circle leaders. And that's where I came in. I was at the time, I was technically homeless. I was sleeping on my friend's couch with my child. And I was really just trying to figure out what my next move was going to be. And I was taking classes through Forward Service Corporation and just really trying to search. And the director of Circles, Jen,
Mhm.
um, came in and did a presentation, and it was timing. It was, I really believe that it all just laid out the way it needed to, because the things that she said that day about providing support, providing community, that's what I needed. That was what I was missing. Like, I'm driven, I can make things happen, but I was really lacking that support. So I interviewed, I started in cohort 2, called Discovery, as a circle leader. And for the next 18 months, I met people, I networked, I was paired with an ally system that were essentially intentional friendships
Mhm.
that are designed to give the circle leader access to resources and relationships that they may not have encountered in the course of their normal daily life. Um, it offered me so much, encouragement, support, resources, everything that I needed to really get back on my feet and excel. Um, After my 18 months, it was significantly past, it wasn't right at my 18 months. I had achieved employment that brought me 200% above the federal poverty level, which is the criteria to technically graduate the program. So I finished. And I didn't know what to do, so I just kept going. So I just kept showing up and like, well, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't really have anywhere I'd rather be on Mondays.
Mhm.
So that brought me to a place where they offered to allow me into a role where I could use my lived experience as a circle leader to tell the new incoming leaders, like, this can work for you. It really has to do with the grit and determination that you're willing to put in, because it's not easy. Accountability and change is not easy.
Amen to that.
So, just this past Monday, 2 days ago, I had the incredible honor of standing beside the cohort leaders from cohort 5, hashtag unstoppable, and graduating them as a leader trainer. So, really, really cool. Circles provides as many resources as we can, and we do that with the volunteers and the community at our backs. We need help. Everybody needs help to make change happen, so that's what we do.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that. For what it's worth, I have a couple of really strong reactions. First of all, I loved what you said, that Jen said about the strength of the community. That is so consistent with what I know to be true about her, and so consistent with what I
Yes.
know to be true about the Circles program, and what I know to be true about you. Every way that you have shown up with us in our partnership with Circles, and in your time with us as a parent advocating for childcare fellow, you have always beat the drum of community. I so appreciate that about you, Amber. And I can only begin to imagine how amazing it was for you personally to stand side by side the most recent cohort participants as they graduated from the program, because of how much you must have given to them and how much they gave back to each other and their experience in getting to the point of graduating from the
Very
program
cool.
last week.
Super cool. Plus, my trainer partner was my own leader trainer. So, I mean, the humility and respect and just the quiet appreciation for how hard I worked for that moment, but how naturally it fit me. It was really wonderful.
No doubts, no doubts. That's something also I really have come to appreciate about you too, Amber, is as passionate as you are about so many things, Circles among them, and probably at the top of the list. You come across with such amazing humility, such great respect for others that have similar lived experiences, such great self-respect for your own lived experience. I think that's truly a gift that you have to give to others. And again, I can only imagine what all of those cohort participants that you got to work with this year got from you as their leader. So kudos to you
Thank
for all
you.
of that.
I
You're most
appreciate it. It's
welcome.
been my honor. It really has.
So speaking of the past year, this has been a recurring theme in all of my chats with Spencer, but it's one that's still top of mind for all
Yeah.
of us. It's one still that's very much at play in all of our lives. Clearly a year unlike any other, from the pandemic to the social/racial justice movement and everything that has happened around that, to the childcare crisis that has been really going on for years and years and years, but was so amplified, like so many other things, by the pandemic. If you're comfortable, tell us what the past year was like for you. How did you navigate all of those different things, from the challenges you faced in your own life to how you showed up and stood up and spoke out, advocating for those things as well?
Really, for me, my answer is so much like everyone else's, that we literally were just winging it. There was no plan. Nobody had a plan B. Like, what if there's a pandemic plan? Nobody had
Right.
that. So for me, it meant immediately, like literally in the middle of the day, being sent home with my work equipment to figure out how to work in my living room, which was not ideal, but I was like, okay, I can do that. And then when summer hit, I had chosen to end my daughter's daycare because she was going to be going to school. But then kindergarten was online.
Hmm.
So I'm working 40 hours a week plus, because it was our busy season. And my daughter is 3 feet behind me at her desk with her little headphones, with her little Chromebook, trying to figure out how to do things like check her email when she can't read and stuff like that. So, I mean, I shout out any educator, any teacher of any kind for this year. I I applaud you. I worship you, because my daughter's kindergarten teacher is made of sunshine and patience. It's unbelievable. And and if it wasn't for, again, with the community, everybody trying to really pull together and say, this year is messed up for these kids.
Right.
What can we
Right.
do about it? And they did an amazing job. The staff just did such a wonderful job making it possible for so many parents like me that really had to still be working, you know? Not that my employer didn't care that my kid was home, but like they kind of don't care that your kid's at home. You still have a job to do.
They
So
care a lot more now.
right, right. And my job obviously was supportive and understood the situation,
Right,
but it's still not ideal.
right,
So riding that wave was really strange. Her karate classes all went online, circles went online. We were the first cohort or the first branch to do a matching virtually, hadn't been done before. So everybody just rolled with it and adapted. It was no different for me. um, I tended to pack my schedule more because I was able to. I didn't have travel time. So when I had the opportunity to come on board for the PACC fellowship, I thought, oh yes, I'm in because I'm mad about childcare. I am mad that I can't provide my daughter with, a big fancy birthday party because childcare is $1,000 a month, and things like that. So it was an opportunity for me to not just have a voice, but to be in a space with other voices that had similar experiences. So the ABC fellowship, the PACC fellowship, and circles and working from home was really my last year. I'm parenting, I'm socializing, trying to remember that I'm a person as well as a parent.
right.
I'm learning to do that. That's new. Um, but I have to say, as much as all of us in my family and my social circle struggled with, especially the mental health part, the social isolation of the pandemic, having those activities for me was so healing. It really was. And I felt that the timing was so important because the pandemic really blew the lid off of a lot of issues that were already present, but now had to be confronted at the same time. We have always known that there is racial unrest, but we try to kind of just, unless there's something to talk about, we try not to talk about it.
Mhm.
We know that there is homelessness, but unless there's something in the news, we try not to talk about it. And it's all these issues, huge, huge societal issues that we had to confront, had to. So, as much as I didn't love the negative things about this past year, I really do believe that the exposure had to happen and by any means necessary, really.
Great perspective. Once again, Amber, the last thing that you said made me think about one of the truisms of change, in that it's, change that you choose to pursue is a whole lot different than change that is forced upon you.
Yeah.
And the response that we as human beings all have to that latter change is a little bit more challenging than the change that we choose to pursue in our lives. So again, great perspective on all of that. Let's dive a little bit more into the Parents Advocating for Childcare Fellowship. So let me set it up for everybody just at a high level, and then I'll let you take it from there. Amber, the Parents Advocating for Childcare Fellowship is a program that Achieve Brown County created with its partner organizations, Strive Together partner organizations here in the state of Wisconsin. So Achieve Brown County is part of a national Strive Together network of roughly 70 organizations here in Wisconsin. There are 4 organizations. Three of them are south of us, one in Milwaukee, one in Racine, and one in Kenosha. They're, like Achieve Brown County, all committed to advancing positive cradle-to-career outcomes for young people and affecting systems change with a focus on equity and racial justice. And this program was created as a vehicle to engage parents like Amber in both learning how to advocate for all things childcare, all the changes that need to occur related to childcare, and to actually do that. So in the first part of the program, the first few months of the program, we engaged Amber and 4 other fellows here in Green Bay, 2 of which Amber knew very well coming into the program because they too were from Circles. Thanks, Jen, if you're watching, for helping us to really get to know and benefit from Katie and Daisy as well. Katie and Daisy, thank you. Wink,
Shout
wink, nod,
out.
nod. But we got to spend a lot of time with all five of you, helping you and us learn how to effectively advocate for childcare, and then creating the opportunity for you to do so. And because of everything related to the pandemic, there was quite an opportunity for you to do so,
Yeah.
particularly related to all of the funding that has come into the state from the federal government to go to supporting issues like childcare in our state. So that was a lot more of a setup that I really intended to give. But Amber, what I'd love for you to tell us about is your experience as a parent advocating for childcare fellow. What was it like? What did you do? What did you get out of the program, et cetera?
Yeah, it was a lot more than I expected. I mean, the opportunities and the information. There was so much about the actual operation of advocacy, the how especially was
Mhm.
something that I had always felt. I told you before, like I wanted to do something because I'm tired of just being mad about it. I'm tired of talking about what we could do or should do. And this helped teach me how. Who can I talk to? How do I find out who is representing me on a local level? And that having some community, politicians available to us to have those conversations during the Zoom chats to really pursue some of those tighter questions about, okay, so how do I get what I want? Not just how to make the ask, but how to formulate it in a way that presents a personal narrative paired with factual data to be presented in a nice little package with an ask.
Right.
The technicality of it, I'll applaud Kristen all day, every day for her data because that was so eye opening for me. The visual charts and being able to see those numbers, it really, in a lot of ways, it made me more mad, which is what fuels me. I want to see equality. I want to see people able to thrive, not survive. We've talked before about that Alice sector, that
Right.
so many people fall into. There's not just poverty, there's such a scope of problems, and childcare is one of them. If you want a healthy economy, you need parents with children that are cared for. It's simple. It's a community problem.
It totally is. And I'm glad that you touched on some things that I left out in my very lengthy overview of the program. In particular, what we designed the program to provide you and others the opportunity to really advocate about, which is, as you mentioned, the access to childcare, particularly high quality childcare, the affordability of that care, of
Yeah.
anybody that has needed to take advantage of childcare services knows it's incredibly expensive. Incredibly expensive. The annual cost of childcare is typically higher than the average income of Wisconsin families. Um, and there's also a quality issue. The quality varies from program to program, organization to organization in wild ways, to the point there's great inequities um, across the entire childcare industry. And there's a litany of other details that go along with those three things. But as Amber, this is something that our nation has been facing for years and years and years. It's not like this didn't exist before the pandemic. It was just really, really amplified in
Yeah.
the pandemic. And the fact that the five of you, and I should mention Elizabeth and Chandra, our other two fellows as well, because the five of you did just an amazing job in not only investing your time with us, but also taking a stand and speaking out about these things. Which you'll have the opportunity to continue to do past the your time with the program, which again ended formally last week. So let's look to the future in our last couple of minutes here. You've had a lot of opportunities to work with us through the PAC Fellowship. You will obviously continue to work with us at Chief Brown County as a representative of Circles Green Bay. As you think about the work that we've done, that we'll continue to do together, what are you most excited about? What are you most looking forward to either continuing or doing for the first time in your relationship with us?
I don't know what you got for me, Spencer. I mean, I'm kind of
Got a
on
lot
board
of
with
ideas.
Yeah, I want to be a voice. I want to be an advocate. I know that there has been some discussion about me being a voice of experience and advocacy in another organization locally that I would like to pursue. I would love to sit with the council that you're working on. Really my time goes where it's most useful. If I can be a voice, let me be a voice. Give me something to do. Give me a platform to yell on.
So I hope at least some of our partners are listening to this, because Amber is a gem, and she would be a huge asset to any advocacy that your organization does. And what she's referring to is the commitment that we made at Achievement County to connect her and our other fellows with you around those opportunities. So we'll definitely make sure we talk about that, Amber, as we go to the future. Also, Amber mentioned our council. What I think you're referring to is our community member council. So this is something that Achievement County is committed to doing as well in the next 6 months, which is creating an entity that community members can leverage to lend their insights, perspectives, voice, lived experiences to how we do what we do as an organization. And Amber, you are the very model of the kind of person from our community that we are hoping to engage in this way and informing and guiding our work. So to your point, we'll have many conversations offline.
I have no doubt we
how we
will.
can work together with each other. Amber, is there anything else that you wish I had asked, or that you want everybody who is watching this to know about you?
I made your sushi.
Yes, you did. I meant to
will
mention
say
that.
that.
So I'm glad you reminded me. Amber is, among all the amazing things that we've talked about, also a very accomplished sushi. I can't even get it out. Sushi chef. That is a tongue twister. And I can vouch for that, as can the entire Achievement County team, because she made sushi for us just a few weeks ago when we honored all of our AmeriCorps Vistas at the end of their service term with us. So if you're looking to be hooked up with somebody who makes some pretty awesome sushi, reach out to me or any one of us at Achievement County. We'd be happy to connect you with Amber.
Thanks,
Amber, anything else that I
I
forgot
had to give
mention
myself
about
the
you?
food brag.
Totally. I'm really glad that you remembered to bring that up, because that was on my list of things to say. Well,
Oh,
Amber,
I appreciate you having me. I'm glad that I got the opportunity to sit and talk with you. Thank you for everything that you have done with the fellowship. I really, really am excited to see that progress and happen again. You didn't mention explicitly that this was the first time it had been done. And it was so incredibly well done that I said before, I would not have known that it was the first shot. It will only improve. And I think that you're doing amazing work in training advocates.
Thank you. You are very kind. And not only did we have a lot of help from our partners across the state, but I'm a real believer that amazing things happen when you bring amazing people together. And that included the 5 of you as our fellows and the other fellows from the other partnerships. So it was truly a collective effort that what made the program great. So thank you for that. Right back at you.
Thanks, Spencer.
Well, we are at time, Amber. I told you this was going to go fast, and it did indeed.
It did.
Thank you so much for being my guest and making time for this, particularly in the evening after our busy days. To all of you that tuned in to watch live tonight, thank you so much as well. We will again have yet another chat with Spencer sometime next month, so stay tuned. We'll announce our next guest soon. I am just very grateful that you've made this a part of your Facebook experience, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Amber, thanks again. Have a great night, everybody.